freshman back inside the 20, and Holland spins to the 27. 50-yard punt. Aggies get the football back. 5:10 to play before halftime. All tied up.
Need more customers. So, what? Advertise?
Ask the ad guru.
The first path, Yellow Book.
Excellent. Yellow Book. But what about the internet?
The second path, yellowbook.com.
What if people look on search engines?
The third path, trust Yellow Book to place your ad on powerful search engines across the internet. The path begins with Yellow Book.
Business is off the charts. Wherever you look, Yellow Book.
Capital One Bowl Week continues Monday with the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl at 12:30 on ESPN and the Roadies Humanitarian Bowl at 2 on ESPN2. Then at 4 on ESPN, it's the Gaylord Hotel's Music City Bowl, followed by the Chick-fil-A Bowl at 7:30.
Enter a world beyond sight. Enter a world beyond sound. Introducing the revolutionary Kuro.
Deep in the fourth quarter, McGregor nailed the door shut. This wasn't the fairy tale ending the Eagle faithful had hoped for.
This is my house now.
What?
This is my house!
Now everyone can play with EA Sports Family Play on the Wii. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
We're on the Riverwalk in Valero's hometown of San Antonio, where thousands of college football fans are enjoying the warm Texas hospitality. As title sponsor, Valero is proud to bring the excitement of the Valero Alamo Bowl to fans across the nation. This year's matchup between Texas A&M and Penn State promises great excitement and energy as the Valero Alamo Bowl celebrates its 15th anniversary. So whether you're an Aggie or a Nittany Lion or maybe just a fan of great football, we hope you're having fun and enjoying the game. On behalf of the Valero family all across America, be safe as you hit the highways this holiday season and have a happy new year.
Well, thanks. Who would second those wishes? Great hospitality here in San Antonio for the Valero Alamo Bowl. Aggies got up to the fast start. Lions have answered. A&M now has the ball back at their 27-yard line. Only 7 yards in the second quarter for the A&M offense, and -6 rushing as McGee has been pressured and sacked. Show blitz again. It's Goodson up the middle. Connor on the tackle.
Wow. Some hitting up there. Putting the D-line on the move a little there, slanting and moving and creating some problems for A&M.
But you know what I'm really watching here are the linebackers of Penn State. And the linebackers of Penn State in that defense.
Keep an eye on that. Abe Karoma. Again, Penn State cannot afford to have injuries on the defensive line, especially the interior. We really have 3 guys that are rotating a tackle with the injuries and the suspensions. You see Karoma, the freshman, helped off. Philip Taylor, number 90, has played very well. Sophomore. Option. Well strung out. McGee gets about 2. It'll set up 3rd and 3. Philip Taylor on the play there as we check back with Reese Davis.
All right, Chris, time for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. And other than our game, the game, and the story in sports, Patriots' quest for perfection in the National Football League. They're 15-0, and they have a 16-14 lead on the Giants late in the first half. 2 field goals after the Patriots fell behind 14-10, giving New England its 2-point edge. Plenty of post-game coverage coming on SportsCenter after the game.
Reese, thank you. Aggies 1 for 5 on 3rd down. They need just 2 yards. And Keandre Smith is in the ballgame and motions to the bottom of the formation. Empty backfield. McGee fires. Incomplete. A low throw. Pierre Brown in the neighborhood, but not a good play for McGee.
You just saw that. You saw the zone blitz over on that side, short side of the field. You know, that takes away that throw and that angle, doesn't it? You got to sometimes run the ball as a quarterback.
Well, I saw that same thing with the lineman pulling out of there and dropping in that zone blitz. It created a big gap for McGee to possibly step up through there and take off, which he does extremely well. He just misfired on a throw that he felt he should have made.
Fourth consecutive 3-and-out for the Aggies as the Penn State defense has adjusted after the early confusion you guys were talking about. Serrato can receive a booming punt from Brantley. Forced back to the 10. Anthony Serrato spun down again. The excellent coverage from Texas A&M tonight. Well, once again this season you can help decide the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year. Vote at ESPN.com. Search Pontiac to determine which of these four schools, and it's the little guys against the heavyweights in the SEC for $100 grand in general scholarship money from Pontiac. Appalachian State, the game that kind of set the tone for the season. The blocked field goal against Michigan, that wild play for Trinity, which is located down here in San Antonio against Millsaps, and Auburn and Alabama also involved, both past winners of that. So
I like the Appalachian State game. It set the tone for the year.
Everybody felt like they had a chance after that happened. I thought that was the
And obviously, the rest of the year, they did have a chance.
That play is leading. You can vote until January 3rd, by the way, at ESPN.com. As Morelli overthrows, and a flag is down. Now, was it uncatchable?
Like a little illegal contact down the field there.
Well, Chris Bell was the receiver, but the ball way over his head.
Interference. Defense. Number 18. 15-yard penalty from previous spot. Automatic first down.
And they got our Keith Brown, the man who was beaten for the touchdown by Deion Butler earlier.
You know what, this season, though, this is all about really opportunity. You've got coaches on the recruiting trail right now trying to find quarterbacks who can play in open space. Tim Tebow, Pat White, Dennis Dixon out in Oregon before he got hurt. So now all these coaches are trying to find players that can come in at quarterback and play in space and put pressure on defenses.
Absolutely. Spread offenses have equaled the playing field.
Morelli takes another shot downfield, and once again he was trying to get Chris Bell. Double coverage there, or Keith Brown in the area.
Not a great read by Anthony on that one. Had Derek Williams running the crossing route off the hard play action. You got to come off that deep ball and throw. Actually, it was a pretty deep crossing.
Doug, I'm not so sure that there's not a little bit of a question mark in the minds of the offensive coaches at Penn State whether they'd be more effective
with that
Clark and that spread and running the ball right now as opposed to Morelli and throwing some of the ball.
Like I said, he can throw the football. They've got some weapons at receiver. It's just a different offense, and like we were talking about, spread can equal the playing field in a hurry.
This is Derek Williams. Gets a block in the corner from Butler. Gets to the 35. And set up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, now here's where Darryl Clark, you know what, this is a great situation for Clark to come into the game.
It puts pressure on the defense. You have to defend everyone when your quarterback can take off and run.
There you go. Yeah, give him the help.
You have to account for the quarterback, and in a standard offense, you don't.
And there's nothing wrong with this. You know, we've seen many schools have success with it.
Morelli's still in the game, though, so we got two quarterbacks. Morelli will go out wide, and it will be Darryl Clark in the shotgun formation. Clark keeps it and shows the strong running ability out across the 45. This is a glimpse. Not necessarily two quarterbacks in there, but a glimpse of what we'll see from Jopa's offense. His son Jay there on the right, Galen Hall in the middle. Some speculation that Galen Hall, the former Penn State player who is the offensive coordinator of title, will retire after this season. There's been no confirmation of that from Galen, but there's been some whispers around the program.
Well, he certainly had a great career as a coach. Means a lot to this program. And the balance that they've had within this coaching staff has been memorable.
Aaron talked about that 59 Liberty Bowl. Galen Hall came off the bench and threw a touchdown pass, actually on a fake field goal. It was Penn State's first ever bowl win when Paterno was an assistant coach. Got it down at the line. It's actually caught by a lineman. A.Q. Shipley, the center on the carom, moves the ball forward about 4 yards.
All right, start making the phone calls now. Mom, Dad, find this picture. Did somebody get a picture of me catching this football?
Well, look at him. Shipley standing there in the middle. Ball
great reaction.
That was Ornberger who actually got a hand on it. Ornberger, the guard, tipped it up.
Is that quick feet or what?
He made the catch, and yes, it is his first catch of the year.
Maybe not quite Jaworski Lane, but you know what? Nonetheless, he started the play and he ended the play with the ball.
Unbelievable.
Shipley's listed at 2 pounds lighter than Lane, by the way. Coriopolis and Pittsburgh Airport area. On second and down, it's Kinlaw trying to muscle ahead. Picks up about 3 yards. It'll set up a 3rd and 2. Misi Tupe on the stop. We check back with Reese for a preview of what's coming up at halftime. Reese?
All right, Chris, we'll show you how the Dogs were able to stop the nation's leading rusher and keep Barry Sanders' spot in the record book safe. Pardon me. The Huskies were also muzzled. UCLA has a new coach in Rick Neuheisel. Lou and Mark will join me. We'll see you at halftime.
Mississippi State, an underdog in that game out of the SEC, and that's just the second upset of the bowl season. Penn State just converted the 3rd down for the first time in that previous drive. They need 2 yards here. Morelli, a completion in traffic to Kinlaw, who will get the first down at the 41. Getting a hand was Red Bryant, the defensive tackle, because Kinlaw had some room if he'd gotten free of big number 85.
Yeah, it looked a little cluttered there. I thought Kinlaw did a great job of changing directions and just managing to get some positive yards.
How about a great job of holding on to the football?
And Penn State will spend a timeout, their first, minute 16 before halftime. Lions at the 41 with the first down, trying to grab the lead here in San Antonio.
Come on, jump in. Go where you've never, ever been. Turn to me, just believe. If there's any way you know I'd get you there. Turn to me, can't you see? You're caught up and confused. Well, just say, hey, I will be there.
With degrees in more than 150 courses of study, the possibilities are endless. But it all begins with A&M.
Welcome back. Morelli on first down was pressured. Trying to get the ball to Jordan Norwood. Mark Dodge in there quickly on the quarterback with Chris Harrington. Second down.
Going back a couple of plays, you know, you get a completion to your center. Back in USFL days, I had a completion to Kent Hall, who was an all-pro center for years with the Buffalo Bills. And Kent has a life-size poster blow-up of him carrying a football and rumbling down the field with it.
How many yards did he gain? A bunch?
He got about 15 on it. 15? It was one of those lonesome polecat plays where he was actually eligible on the play.
Shovel pass incomplete, and now a late flag. That was Kinlaw, but Morelli was pressured again off the edge. And a penalty against Penn State. Holding.
We actually called the play the tower.
Holding. 61. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Replay. Second down.
We called it the tower after Donald Trump. He was our owner at the time.
Yeah, you know, you have to call certain things in a game. If it's Trump involved, I'm sure you had several things, right?
As long as it works, he was happy. If it didn't work,
confusion. What's this?
There hasn't been that much love between these schools down here this week.
That's a quick unification.
That's wrong.
On second and 20, and you fake it to Kinlaw. Morelli fires over the head of Williams and too short for Chris Bell.
You know, it's that kind of ball right there that I think is the reason that Penn State fans over the years have given so much grief to Morelli. Sometimes he throws a beautiful ball. Sometimes he throws something like that you're like, who is he going to?
He's missed a couple opportunities for some big chunks, some 20-yard chunks on those deep crossing routes, especially to Williams coming across the field. And you've got to hit those throws. Be patient, put some touch on that ball, and make that throw.
Morelli in his career has been under a 60% passer. Just 8 for 16 tonight. The one touchdown to Norwood. Or Butler. So. And third and long. Morelli fires, shows the arm strength. Has Golden inside the 20. Arm strength is not the issue, however.
You know, and that's where you scratch your head, right? And you say, wait a minute, here's a guy that just threw one the play before, had no idea what he was doing. But this time, Doug steps up in the pocket, looks down the field, looks at the read. He goes from left down to the middle and delivers a perfect
It's only a two-man rush. There's 9 guys in coverage, and he threads the needle down the middle of the field.
Second catch for Golden, picks up 32 yards, and now 46 seconds to go in the first half. And State has to become aware of the clock. How huge was that play on 3rd and a mile? Chance to get points before halftime, and Penn State will get the football back to begin the second half.
And you take into consideration they were down 14-0, that they could at least go into the 17-14 lead. Huge.
You know what we've had a reversal of? 2 different defenses. The Aggies, they started out fresh, and now you've got Penn State.
Penn State began 3-0, the big win over Notre Dame. Then they lost to Michigan, and turnovers killed them against Illinois. Came back to beat Iowa and Wisconsin, played very well. The highlight of the season, certainly the big win over Wisconsin. Ohio State was just better than they were. They won 2 of the last 3, but the low point of the season had to be surrendering a 17-point lead at Michigan State. And that's finish at 8-4.
And that's really been what they've talked about this week down here. You know, overcoming that, very frustrated, disappointed. But to finish off what I was saying, you got an Aggie defense that's tired. Penn State's defense is over there, and they're rested.
2nd and 9. Penn State 1 timeout left. Golden comes in motion, play action fake, and Morelli fires for Golden and had him again, missed him. Golden was open for a touchdown.
I just feel like he's rushing a couple of these throws. He had plenty of time, be patient, he tried to anticipate there and misfired.
Some of it, Doug, might be the fact that he's been hit in the backfield. Not a lot of sacks, but he's been hit on several throws, and maybe he's thinking a little bit.
McQuarrie, former Penn State quarterback, is the receivers coach. Signals in the plays for Penn State. Now Clark will come back in the game. Morelli shifts to a receiver position on 3rd and 9. First look at this formation. Clark has blockers, has the corner, and has a 1st and goal.
You know what, fellas? When you put a quarterback in there and he's on in a slot, you're thinking, well, why not just take him out and put a receiver in there, right? But, man, the block that Morelli makes on the left side here, 14, bottom of your screen.
On Brown.
Puts him to the ground.
He cut Brown right in the open field, allowed the corner to be taken.
It's a pretty good block.
Get a view of it here.
Great job.
Boom.
Through the legs, rolls him up on the ground. There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't Brown. Yes, it was.
Doug, you never rolled anybody up, did you?
Absolutely.
Did you?
We have proof
somewhere. Call home, tell Lloyd.
I might have to pull out some CFL film to find it.
Now they'll review, I would presume, the spot on this one. It's spotted at the 5 for a 1st and goal. Let's see where that foot went out.
Yeah.
Hard to say. That was not where they called it out. They called it at the 5, so there has to be conclusive evidence to move it back a couple yards.
You know, I didn't see any white underneath that foot. Well, I don't.
I think he's definitely outside the 5.
Ball was outside the 5.
Yeah, somewhere between the 5 and the 7.5.
Where they spotted it, it was a 13-yard run for Clark. He was carried 4 times for 44 yards, and a big moment in this game. Penn State, which is a very effective red zone team. Their red zone scoring percentage is excellent. Their touchdown percentage is not that good. I mean, Joe's mentality, frankly, is to never come away empty in the red zone. He accepts a lot of field goals down there. Here,
the play on the field is being reversed. The runner stepped out of bounds on the 7-yard line. 1st down.
Okay, they'll move it back 2 yards. We didn't see it that clearly, but apparently they see fit to move it back to the 7. It'll still be 1st and goal. 36 seconds in a timeout. Penn State really struggled on 3rd down early in this game. Now they're 4 for 4 on this drive.
And including that large completion that we just saw from Morelli.
I think the running of Clark has added that aspect too, though, on those 3rd down conversions.
Again, that refers to 89.5% red zone possessions that come away with points. The touchdown percentage is not nearly as good. And in their losses, Michigan and Illinois, red zone failures were key. Morelli fires short of the end zone. Norwood makes the catch. Check that, they'll rule it incomplete. But he had it on the sidelines. Did not have control. Second and goal.
He dropped it on the sideline, though. The ball came out.
After the foot, though?
He gets hit. And the ball came out pretty quickly, so I would call it incomplete and stay with it, even though the foot was in bounds.
14th play of this drive. Shovel pass. Kinlaw. Drop for a loss. And a wily veteran, Mark Dodge, almost 27 years old, going to make the stop, and Paterno spends his last time out.
Yeah, that's a great example of how a defensive coordinator can put a play in for his defense to force the ball inside to Dodge. Corner blitz came, shovel pass underneath, and it really pushed the runner back into Dodge.
You know, Dodge, we talked to him yesterday. He's not that big a guy. You look at him, you don't think of it as a linebacker body that's going to be stepping up in there, taking on fullbacks and busting people up.
They list him at 6'2", 220. He doesn't look it, does he? He's recently engaged to be married. That's Courtney Major, Mark's fiance. He's got a job lined up at Trinity Industries in mid-January. This is it. The last time I put on football pads.
You know, my first thought comes to my mind. She's sitting next to a guy, and you know, Aggie's tradition is if there's a touchdown, they kiss their person next to him. I believe if I had a fiance, I'd want females on either side.
I thought that was just the core.
No, it's Aggies. That's all the way across.
So this guy right here.
Yeah, Mark Dodge will be looking him up.
They got some rules in Texas, boy.
They'd be running that lonesome polecat after the game.
Third and goal. They have no timeouts. Morelli fires to the end zone in traffic and incomplete. Risky throw for Morelli. He was trying to find Quarles. The Aggies had him surrounded. In a short field goal attempt.
Yeah, great reaction by Kenny Brown, breaking on the ball. Morelli in a situation where he's trying to force it in there. You want to come away with points, as we said. Penn State has been very good at coming away with points.
You see how hard he threw that pass, though?
I mean, when you have to throw it that hard, you probably shouldn't be throwing.
He let it go.
The lefty Kelly, who's so erratic beyond 40, is almost automatic inside 40. 17 of 17 is just 25 yards. No problem.
The other side of throwing that hard is, though, those defensive backs don't catch the ball too well.
No.
So 17 straight points for Penn State after falling in a 14-zip hole to Gary Darnell's team.
You know, you see how hard Gary Darnell is coaching them up right now, trying to keep them going. It was critical that the Aggies start fast in this game. Coaching transition, you wondered if they'd be there for him. Darnell was able to bring his ball club in here, and they had the enthusiasm. And I think the competitiveness of it, the spirit of the game, has allowed them. They'll go into halftime. They'll have to make an adjustment, come back out, and keep going.
And there are 9 teams that are playing in bowls with head coaching transition situations. The previous 4, 0-4. Navy, Southern Mississippi, UCLA, and Houston losing their bowl games. Still ahead, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Michigan, of course, West Virginia. And only Georgia Tech is favored. It's a tough thing to play a bowl game and then coaching staff in transition. Usually there's a reason why the coach is not there.
And on top of that, you're going against Joe Paterno, who is one of the all-time greatest, the best ever, probably, at getting ready for bowl games.
I think the biggest fear there is if you were to get behind, if you do get behind late in the game, of not folding up the tents and saying, let's move on, and we'll wait till next year now. And we're finishing this ball game and finishing strong and coming back.
Aggie teams rarely fold the tent, though. This is Kerry Franks trying to create a play here before the end of the first half, and he's able to get across the 40. Forced out by Justin King. The Aggies survived a game against Fresno State. One of the low points, they were embarrassed national TV against a Miami team that turned out to be not very good. Then win 3 of 4. Embarrassed by Texas Tech. Embarrassed by Oklahoma. Also lost to Kansas and Missouri. But that, by far, the highlight. Dennis Franchione telling his staff just before that game with Texas that he would not be coming back. And the team was told just after the game. They were in the locker room celebrating the emotion, beating their arch rivals for the second straight year. And Coach Fran said, settle down, I got something to tell you. And the team, especially number 7 there, McGee, shattered. He spent 30 minutes in his locker by himself before he could collect himself and go talk to the media about what was a huge win. So it has been a roller coaster the last month and a half. McGee steps up, fires downfield. One-on-one battle for the football, almost intercepted. Michael Corey is going against A.J. Wallace, and Serrato, the safety, came over to help late.
You know, yesterday visiting with Stephen McGee, we started talking about this team and Francione and the staff leaving. And he really, it looked like tears came to his eyes when you brought the conversation up about Francione and the fact that some of the seniors were leaving.
Oh, he was very emotional about it and about this group and the connection and how close they are and the camaraderie and the loyalty to Fran. So you know, moving on to the next coach and the next regime is going to be difficult.
McGee had the guts to stand up for Francione, which was not a very popular thing to do. But he speaks very fondly of his former coach. McGee flips it out. This will be the final play of the first half. Goodson laterals it around. This is Irvin Taylor. Irvin Taylor will be brought down to the 43-yard line by Dan Connor.
You know, if that's the last play of the game, the coaches don't mind it. The last play of the half, that ball could go the other way now, so you got to be careful. Wound up in a turnover, no harm though.
So the Aggies a fast start. Penn State 17 straight, and they're 8-1 when they've had the lead at halftime. That was that Nebraska-Michigan game a few years ago down there. There was a wild finish when Michigan had the ball and eventually just ran out of bounds at the end of the game. Let's go to Aaron with Joe Paterno.
All right, Chris. Coach, what adjustment did your defense make in that second quarter to force 4 straight 3-and-outs?
Oh, I don't know. We played a little better, played a little more alert, came off some blocks. Nothing. We really didn't change much. I think the first half we probably, early in the game, we were a little bit lethargic. We were doing a little more stunning than we had to do.
What about Daryl Clark? He scores your second touchdown and tied up. More yards for him tonight than he's had all season. What kind of option is he giving you?
Well, he can do a lot of things. He can run and he can throw the football. And you know, it's a change of pace for us. You know, in certain situations, when you had a little time for a bowl game, you can do something. And figured that Texas A&M would not have seen it, so it's worked out well so far.
All right, Coach, thank you. Little sit down with Joe Papa, Chris.
I enjoyed that. He's not always as accommodating at halftime, is he? Trying to win his 23rd bowl game and his 34th appearance and his 500th game as head coach. Therese, Mark, and Lou, the Flomax halftime report.
All right, Chris, Joe, nice and relaxed in bowl.